Hi, this is Cecilia from Tarot by Cecilia, and this is your weekly tarot guidance for the week of November 14th through the 20th of 2016. How is your November so far? Wow, is all I can say. Little up, little down, lot of up, a lot happening, a lot of forward movement. Can you believe it? And last week was insane, right? Absolutely insane. So let's talk about what's going on this week, shall we? On the 14th, we have a supermoon, a full moon in Taurus. I can't wait to see what develops with this full moon, because what I've been noticing with the various card readings that I've been doing leading up until this point is that from the full moon till, say, the Thanksgiving in the United States, which I think is the 24th, there's some really important things that are happening. Really important things. Now, also for this week, Saturn finally leaves shadow. Do you know we've been in the grips of Saturn since, oh my goodness, I don't know, February or March? Yeah, right? We need a little more lighter energy. I think that will really help a lot. We'll also on the same day have Neptune going direct. So I like that. I think we can get back to reality, get some things going. And definitely from the full moon forward, you're going to notice a shift in how things are happening in the month. Now, I'm going to try to explain it in a way that makes sense. If to any of you out there who are sitting there going, but not one single darn thing in my life has changed. Something changed somewhere else if it didn't change in yours. And that's what matters, okay? That's what comes in and starts showing up. Maybe not in a permanent sense, but you start getting glimpses of things that are coming. This is why sometimes it takes a while. Not everybody has the same reaction to the same energies all of the time. But if you pay attention to what's going on in the universe, remember what I'm always saying, how whatever's happening with others affects your life. So don't sit there with blinders on and say, I can't see anything happening. Because if you focus on a specific thing, then you're never going to notice what's truly going on in the world. There is this big, I want to call it like a woe this week, all right? Make that two woes. All right, the first one being, where you're just standing there looking at, now not standing there staring fate in the face and laughing, okay? It's not like that, but you can definitely look back and realize, how strong you really are and what you've accomplished, because things have changed. There is change going on. If there's not, we need to talk, okay? Because things are definitely happening. Now, the other woe is, how I'm always saying, don't get too, ahead of yourself with anything. It's necessary to have the change, make the change, move forward. But don't do it in such a cocky manner that, you have no regard for others or the outcome, that type of thing. So the woe is like putting on those brakes. Check yourself. Make sure you know where you're headed and you have enough clarity to know what you're doing. That's really important. Also, and I'm trying to figure out how to put this, because it's not like everybody's going to be standing on a stage, okay? But I think that there are definitely some important things being said within the structures of society. We just had the most talked about election ever in U.S. history in the past week. Okay? So there's a lot, that talk isn't going to die down. There's still some aftershock from that taking place. All right? People need to calm their little selves down, probably. However, there's a lot to be learned from it all. And this trickles down not just in the body of government, but within the people all over the world, because it's had that type of a major effect on people. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, every once in a while, things just suddenly feel like they're at a standstill. I mean, you wake up one day and, you have all this movement going on, and all of a sudden you get a day where, you know, things quiet down and there's a lull. Might have to go check my book. I don't usually talk about them here, but I should start. How many of you, if you're aware of When the Moon is Void of Course? That's the feeling that I'm getting. It's just kind of like hanging around, okay? Not accomplishing much in a day. If you have a day like that, it's okay, because that does tend to happen to some people, especially if there's an all-day void. So we'll have to look into that and bring that up over the course of the week and see if there is one, or at least one that covers enough hours to mess up your day. Also, I think too much time on one's hands still gives that cause for a reflection. Yeah, stop it. Don't keep looking at whatever's gone is gone. It's like showing all of that loss everywhere and everything that happened. I think that there's still little reminders, little things that need to be handled and dealt with. But what it shows me here is you getting in control. And now I know this is a weekly reading, but I've been watching the cards and, how things are going. And I honestly think that many of you are in greater control by April, or maybe even the second half, because Venus will be retrograde until April 15th. So it's probably in that second half of April things start to lighten up, and you're being drawn more towards your goals. Remember how we talked about next year that you're getting closer to that whole new life, because this whole past year has been transitional and taking you away from the old one. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's just been stressful to say the least. So if you have any down energy time where you're just hanging around, that's probably a really good thing. Now, many of you have taken on all new projects, new jobs, and I just see you moving to beat the band, okay? Trying to get cooperation, trying to just, make things work, and trying to make the right choices. It's really like part of it, it's that learning process of not wanting to repeat patterns. Because I think that those of you who are here with me are getting better at that and are understanding more, okay, how patterns and choices brought you to the place where you currently are. So, this is an amazing thing. This is an amazing week. I'm telling you, that full moon was a very key moment in the month. Now, I also see people everywhere. Absolutely everywhere, okay? And it's understandable this time of year. We're headed into the holiday season. We're in that second half of November. Depending upon where you live, there's holidays that are upon you. Things are approaching. You're automatically around more people, perhaps even in that more, generous mode type of thing, trying to help the less fortunate and things of that nature. And, it's just all a part of the season. And it bothers me sometimes because it has to be a season and it's not the whole year. And I think it should be year round. I really, truly do. However, what I'm seeing here is sharing the abundance. This is a wonderful thing, okay? And in your juggling of, not just your priorities, but your responsibilities and all of that, and this new identity that we've been talking about that's been emerging. It's an ongoing thing. You never reach one day and that's who you become and that's who you stay for the rest of your life, okay? It doesn't work that way. But you're getting together, I guess, kind of like the whole package, where the more you understand about the way things are and, your place in the universe, your emotions are becoming more balanced. You are more grounded. You are more accepting of change and have a vision for change. Okay? You have a passion for this new life and this new identity. If I asked you 2 years ago, I don't think you would have a clue that any of this was coming. And you certainly wouldn't have been passionate about anything that was going on. Okay? That's how big of a change this truly is. It's taken a lot of patience to get to a happier place, but many of you are doing it. Or are you, if you're looking for some dreamland, that may never happen. But if you have learned along the way how to be a happy person with what you have, what a wonderful life you can have, right? I think with Saturn leaving shadow, it really helps a lot. That peace, harmony, balance. Yeah. Working on things now, anything. This could be work projects. It could be holiday shopping. It could be anything. And you know why? Because come December 1st, Mercury will enter shadow. It will be retrograding next month. So don't put everything off until the last minute. Pay close attention to the details now and get things moving. I have to tell you, there is a huge wish coming this week. I might have to pull some more cards to see what it says, because this wish is associated with something that's karmic. Like, you may not see, I'm starting to get the chills going down my spine when I say this, and I don't know how to put it, because so many people want everything like right this moment, and they're so fixed on a certain thing. I want this, I want money, I want love, blah, 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 blah. I really think that the universe shows you in some karmic fashion like a glimpse at your destiny. And keep saying that's coming, whether it has to do with love, with money. Something is going on, and it's an amazing week, and that it leaves you feeling really good. Really, really good. Okay? Now, there are still some responsibilities that are hanging out there. Maybe more paperwork to be done. Okay? Don't allow yourself to be trapped in that. When it comes to your responsibilities, work on all of these things. Now, I'm also seeing success, great success with having a lot of irons in the fire. Let's talk about that for a minute. Because this month, if you're having abundance come in and you're seeing things coming to fruition and you're working on, I don't care if it's work or if it's personal, all these different projects, they want to pay off in a big way. I think that it's more where you see now that they're going to. You see things happening. You see things changing. Like, it's a powerful feeling for you. And you know what? You didn't do it in an orthodox manner. You weren't in everybody's face every day accomplishing this. You kind of just came in, did it, and nobody saw you coming. All right? It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. For a lot of you, I think it may pertain to your work, whatever it is you're doing. And it gives you more to hold on to. So, there could be some sort of, financial compensation in there or something that comes along. But, talk about starting to feel like you're getting your mojo back. Yes, indeed. Hopefully somewhere along the line, that list that you have, you always hear me saying I have one, is starting to go down a little bit. Maybe you've checked a couple things off, because I see you, trying to juggle all of your commitments and keep things balanced. The theme here is really to not overdo it with anything. I think that's the key to getting through it. If anything starts to feel overwhelming, because around the full moon, somebody's liable to pop a gasket. We don't need that, right? We don't need that. We always talk about the full moons and say, be cool, don't be the one. Don't be the one. Between the full moon and the new moon, which will be at the end of the month. And just, yeah, a lot of success with this week. I think whatever it is that you pulled off, we were talking about, like if you had projects you've been working on, and I think this week, there's recognition for your work and what you've done. It feels good. Like, not to say you're going to be singing and dancing, but it feels good. Like you feel blessed this week. There are some very positive things coming up. And honestly, I think everyone in some way will realize that the universe has not forgotten them. Okay? That's how I'm seeing it. It's a very positive week indeed. So I also want to let you know that this month I'm also doing Venus, Mars. Okay? They're already out there on Patreon. The full moon's on Patreon. So all of these extra videos will be up for you to listen to with extra guidance. So I want to thank you all for listening, and I'll see you here again next week. And as always, take care.